Hi, we're Arturo+Lauren. We're architecture, interior, and hospitality filmmakers and photographers based in LA. Today I want to tell you about a really exciting project we did, which was the MetLife in New York. The owner of the MetLife building is Tishman, Speyer, and Irvine company, and they spent multi-million dollars renovating this office building. They especially renovated the lobby, the conference, the meeting areas, the lounge, patio, so that was the goal. For this project, we had to bid against other directors, so we were thinking about especially the MetLife, what it really means to work, to live in a way you're spending a lot of your time in that building, what it really means to. And my family's actually from New York, so I talked to my uncle, who's a lawyer in New York, because I was thinking about what are the type of potential tenants living in MetLife. It would be lawyers or business, finance related people. So I talked to him and he said the main thing about MetLife is obviously the location, and then also that it's an iconic address. So as a lawyer, he said he loves office buildings that have a combination of solitude where you can work alone, but also collaboration. And I was thinking through the spaces in the MetLife building for that. They have the amenities, so the gym we really wanted to showcase, the meeting areas. I also wanted to show the design that they did, a really nice lobby design. There's also close by restaurants, so we wanted to show kind of a day in the life of what it would be like for someone to work in the MetLife building. New York is so bustling in the morning, and I wanted to show that hectic chaoticness when you hear all the sounds, the iconic New York cab passing by, and then just going into the MetLife building where you have the serenity, where you see the design, where you start the collaboration, and then also in the moments of the day, going to the gym on the lunch break. That would be bringing some sort of energy into the video. I wanted the levels of energy to go up and down, the busyness of New York, the energy there, and then the solitude, working alone, the energy of going to the gym, collaboration with your team members, and at the end of the day, going to the restaurants, chatting, you hear the sounds of what it feels like to be in the restaurant. So that was my idea of how to bring the levels of energy throughout the video.
The process leading to the shoot, before the shoot, is so important. So one of the key things of each production, and this is not an exception here, is the tech scout. The tech scout, it's a session that we do before the shoot, usually a few days before, and it's after the actual scout, the first scout of the project. And the tech scout is made to gather together the different members that are going to be behind the camera on the shoot days and discuss final details and final aspects that are going to make the production to run smoother. We had to pose ourselves in order to check if the angles that we plan match with the actual space, to see if it looks good. We were different team members present in the tech scout. It was the first AD, the different producers, the client, the DOP, the gaffer, and it was a team effort. We checked all the interior areas, all the offices, gyms, restaurants, and everything, but also the surroundings. This is a project where the surroundings are so important, and our goal was to check the proximities of the building and to see the perfect spot for each photo and each video, and to check if there was enough clearance for our team to position the different cameras and to see the magnitude of the building in comparison with the talent. For the most part, we shot the same spaces in photo and video, but the angles were slightly different. There are angles that work better in video, and there are angles that work better in photo. So that's why we couldn't shoot at the same time. And also the way that we work with talent on the frame and the different specifics about video and photo make it a bit impossible to shoot at the same time. But it's so important for us to have a high degree of coherence between photo and video because it has to look like it's the same space. There were some unique moments in the building and the surroundings where the play of light and shadow was so special. So we captured these unique moments with time-lapse, and I like how the effect of the shadows moving throughout the frame blended with the rest of the attic. When shooting the lobby, we ran into a situation, a common problem, that is flickering. Flickering in the footage is so distracting, and it usually happens when you shoot at a high frame rate. For the most part, in the shoot, it was fine because we were shooting at 48 frames per second. Flickering, it usually happens when you shoot above 60 frames per second. But this light in the lobby, the frequency of the LED light at the different light sources, it was so fast. So we made sure to get rid of the flickering by lowering the frame per second to 24, maintaining the 180-degree shutter angle.
For the casting, we casted 4 main principals, and a key idea I had for the casting was to show people who really looked like they worked at a MetLife building. Diverse people, different ages, but you could really see them working in the MetLife building, not supermodels or anything. We had 15 talent, and every morning the wardrobe stylist made sure that each of the outfits and also in each scene that they meshed well together. And the reason why we needed so much talent was to fill the space. Some of the meeting areas were really big lounge that occupied the entire floor, and we wanted to make it look like people were working in different parts of the building. And then also there's a scene with one of the principals giving a speech, and we wanted to fill it out so it looks like the speaking area had an audience as well. We also wanted to look like people were actually working there, so for the props, we had a number of laptops, a number of iPads, and when we were placing people throughout the different areas, we made sure that there is a good number of people in conversation, there's people working on their computers, people drinking coffee. Just as realistic as possible was one of our goals. One of the key angles was our main male principal talent walking into the building. I knew that I wanted that to be the first shot in the morning where you see the bustling of other people coming in and out. And also we wanted to have the camera following him into the building. We also made sure that we could see the MetLife logo at the top of the frame. One of the key renovations was the outdoor patio area, and that's a really important area that we wanted to cover in daytime and twilight. So for twilight, the idea for the story was the main principals come in, they find that was the first time you see all 4 principals come in for a shot, and they were cheersing together, but at the same time you also see talent using the space, and we wanted to show that twilight landscape glowing effect with the sun setting and just being with your favorite colleagues at the patio. For the meeting room, we didn't want the overhead lights on. Sometimes when you have all the overhead lights on, it can look like a dentist's office. You have the lighting coming down from here and it just looks really staticky. There is also a building right in front of the meeting room. There was only one really large window and a building right in front, so it cut a lot of the natural sunlight. And for this shot, we wanted to be very inspirational. So we had the gaffer light the principal who was giving the speech from the side here, so it has a glowing effect around her. And also the talent that we had, we made sure that they were different heights, it was the back of them, so different colored hair, different clothes. Some of the people we were just swapping out, oh, can you put on this dress shirt instead? So we made sure that was very diverse and cohesive with the colors. One of the restaurants in this building we were able to shoot in. The space was amazing. Luckily, the chef of that restaurant was so kind to do a few demonstrations. He brought us into the back of the kitchen. I really wanted a look of him preparing the dishes, his signature dishes, and then also a shot of the bar was just amazing. This restaurant could have had so many different views. There were mirrors on the ceiling, but an angle that I really liked was the bar area and showing the main principals enjoying the food, drinking. That was just a shot of the restaurant, but we made sure to put that in because it was a key amenity as well. One of the funny or interesting challenges that we had was on the second day, we went downstairs, and this is the angle where we had the main principal male talent looking, and there was that MetLife building in the background. And when we got downstairs, we saw that there were window cleaners covering the logo, and we were like, oh my God, there's that window cleaner covering, how are we gonna get that shot? Luckily, we had a few different shots in that area that we planned for, so we shuffled around the schedule. As soon as that window cleaner lowered, it was actually not very visible. We shot it in a way that the principal was still the main focal point, but when we panned to see the logo, that window cleaner was just below that it wasn't noticeable, so that's how we nailed that outdoor shot. An important factor for the schedule was also, with this office building, the timing is completely different for each area. For example, the time that the gym opens, the time that the restaurant's open. Is there someone operating there that can help move things around? What time is there least people in the conference room, least people in the patio area? So we had to take all of these different factors in mind to create a perfect schedule, and it had to work like clockwork. And luckily, it worked like clockwork, and we were able to nail all the different angles. Sometimes there were different things we had to swap in the schedule. We had to go from indoors to outdoors, so we tried to group things in the same area. Also, this is a working office, so we couldn't bring our equipment throughout the building. We had to use freight elevators, so we had to make sure that the schedule also accounted for that when we move a 20-person team from spot to spot, and making sure that our equipment moves seamlessly without people in MetLife knowing that we were doing the shoot. So we tried to be very discreet and make sure that the schedule and everything reflected that to have a seamless production. Today I'm here with my good friend Kyle, who's a very talented producer, musician. One of the things that I've been wanting to work on for a while is to do a custom song for a video. We thought this would be the perfect video commercial to do a custom song. We've always just been using online websites that we subscribe to for music and just cut it based on that, but I thought it'd be so cool, especially because this video commercial is in New York. We want to bring in those elements. The keynotes from the clients were to show that it's near Grand Central Station, which was a really key location in New York, so you want to show that, the sounds of that, but then also it's a newly renovated office building, so we wanted to show that there's different areas. There's a gym, there's a restaurant, so bring in different sound elements from there. And then also, obviously, it's an office space and they renovated a new floor, so I wanted to show the collaboration between different team members, and you're gonna see in the video, but we wanted to have a whole song showing all of these elements.
Yeah. We wanted to have it still be very classy and elegant with some influence from classical music, so I wanted to incorporate as much as I can a lot of orchestral elements.
One of the key objectives for the soundtrack was to match key highlight points with a specific sound. We also wanted to show a surround sound for different areas, especially for the lobby. And for the different pacing in the video, for example, the yoga shot, I wanted that slowed down. You feel the heartbeat, and then the restaurant, we hear the bustling of people talking. So each scene, I wanted it to kind of be unique, where they have their own sound effects, the pacing is a bit different, but also still have a seamless soundtrack throughout the whole video. Hope you enjoyed this video as a sneak peek to see our inner workings. Thank you!